My music have been doing extremely good, and everything that I have put my money and my time into, it be getting popping. I feel famous. Oh my dude, I don't know what to do. Look at Shad bothering me. I know he think I'm not in the studio. He think I'm lying or something. Like, look, let's show him that we in the studio. Let me put this on Instagram so he know that we in the studio. Come here. Let's post it. What happened? What's the problem?
I don't know about posting on social media, none of that. I get that Cardi trying to prove to the manager Shaft that we in here working, but I got a girlfriend in London, and I know she gonna take anything I post with Cardi B the wrong way.
Let me post this picture. What's poppin'? We in the studio. Shut the up. I do not give a okay.
And now, back to this bitch that had a lot to say about me the other day in the press. Miley, what's good? My point is, what I want the world to know about Nicki Minaj is when you hear Nicki Minaj spit, Nicki Minaj wrote it. And no shade.
Make some motherfucking noise, cause you niggas is so fucking weak. Y'all got the audacity to be intimidated by a bad motherfucking queen and get your motherfucking feelings hurt. But it's old motherfucking K, cause Barack needed a Michelle, bitch, and Bill needed a motherfucking Hillary, bitch. You better pray to God you don't get stuck with a motherfucking Melania.
What up, Melania?
To stroke your motherfucking ego. Well, fuck you, nigga.
We ready for the show.
This is Mongolian Mindset, and today we got one of our historic breakdowns, Road to Demigod series, where we pin some of the greatest names against each other, and we rank them for how great they are in their development. Today we're doing the ESFP version, and the first women we've done ever, Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj. Who is more developed based on their cognitive functions?
This is a battle of the Titans, okay? Nicki Minaj is one of the best rappers ever, and I'm not playing around. She actually is the best female rapper ever. I'm a fan of Nicki. And Cardi B, one of the most entertaining individuals ever in show business. She's freaking crazy, but we love her for it. So now we're going to pit them against each other. They've had actual real beef against each other in real life, in real time. And we're going to see that here because we got the clips coming as well. So stay tuned. Don't click off the video. This is going to be a battle for the ages.
And we did do a comprehensive breakdown of the ESFP. So hope you guys look at that. And also our breakdown of how you can figure out your ranking in the Demigod series. And join our fucking Discord. It's going to be the hottest fucking group on the planet. Yeah, and hope you guys take away that from this is don't fucking try ESFP. They might bust your ass in public, okay?
Let's show the real life beef between Nicki and Cardi and what happened at that award show real quick.
Cardi B and Nicki were getting into it. And one thing I can say about Cardi B is if you talk shit, she believe in talk shit, get hit, right? Nicki Minaj does have a reputation of bullying other people, but you can't fucking bully Cardi. She coming right after your fucking ass.
No. Hold tight. I got it. Hold tight. Hold tight.
Bitch, come here. Bitch, come here.
It was the battle of the ESFPs, guys. This is what happens. You talk shit against Cardi B, she coming right after you. And if you want to show the shoe as well, you can show the shoe.
FP Critic! FP Critic! You hear that shit?
Can you use it? Help me.
All right, Slim.
I had to get that part. Help me.
You better not hurt their feelings or they're coming right after you physically, okay?
Yeah.
So, battle of the ages, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. We'll see who's more developed.
Hey guys, if you're dealing with an ESFP, just know they're about that life, right? They're about that life. You trample on the FI, just know you gonna get some SE hands, baby. You're gonna get some SE hands. You're gonna get something thrown at you. They do not bullshit around. That's why I say, hey man, you're dealing with an ESFP. They start getting
tread carefully. Tread carefully.
Tread very carefully. I would also say don't let them get no alcohol because it gets even worse. All right, gets even worse. Like I've said, I've seen my ESFP friend just punch a dude straight in his fucking mouth at the club. Okay, and no bullshit. You think go around here running around on them or some shit and they catch your ass? That's your ass, boss. All right, guys. How do you find an ESFP? Like based on communication, we have the interaction styles and temperament by Linda Behrens, right? So the ESFP, they're going to be initiating, right? So what does that mean? Is they will initiate conversation with people. They will go up to people they feel a lot more comfortable with doing that. And if they're talking, they will shift the conversation over and over because they're just extroverted in that nature, especially with being a starter, right? They can talk their ass off. They're also informative, right? So they give extra information. A lot of things that they say can be like open, indirect, or passive. Sometimes you got to decode what the fuck they said, right? You be like in your head, you're like, I got to decode it.
Like, you burned the London Bridge, bitch. You burned the London Bridge. Like, we don't even know what that means. You just said it.
Fucking mean. Yeah. So we'd have to decode what the fuck that is, right? So that's a lot of times you see with the informative thing, but they don't mind initiating and informative, right? And their interest and motive, right? So they're all about like what they get out of a situation. A lot of times you'll see Cardi B or Nicki Minaj put their interest first right in your fucking face. Like, I'm getting this out of this, right? Nicki goes, why don't you have my shit ready for at the studio? You ain't did your fucking work. When I come here,
why don't you post my album or promote my album? You know, if we're supposed to be friends or whatever. It's like interest first, you know what I mean? And
interest first, baby. Right in your fucking face, because it's more FI, pragmatic interest. So it's a little bit what we call disgusting. All right, it's all up in your fucking face.
What do I get out of this?
It's disgusting. They're pragmatic, right? So they have a utilitarian mindset with things. The ends justify the means. Bro, they ain't asking for permission, bro. They ain't never asking for permission, right?
Let me give another example. Nicki Minaj used to couple her merch with her music, and that would count as a sale, right? So that when you put the stats up, it would seem like her album sold way more than what it actually did, because she did like a little industry trick to make that happen. And, you know, that's very pragmatic of her to do. Other artists started to take note and started doing the same thing, but Nicki was one of the first to actually do that. And she would actually like go into social media and tell her fans to go buy her album like twice or whatever, stuff like that. You know, very like Mercer was saying, disgusting interest, right? Because it's very in your face. It's very like, yeah, I'm doing this for the sake of me and my interest. You know, pragmatic interest.
And also with being pragmatic, they're willing to cut the corner, right? And go against the established ways, right? That's what you will see a lot with ESFPs. They are concrete, right? They focus on what is real, what's tangible. They're not really talking about metaphysics or anything of that nature. They're not talking about visualization, because that's going to hit more of their weakness, which is their intuition functions, right? So you're not going to see much of that, but as you know, we are dealing with women here, so they can talk about like, you know,
manifestation, and
you won't see it long term is what like they may say something, but they're really not actually practicing. And if they do practice it, they give up on it real quick. That's what I would say. The progression of movement or journey focus, their life is a journey. They're not looking at end products, right? They're not trying to control anything. They're just moving from next to the next. Okay. And that sums up their life there. They like to figure out things as they go. It's not like they're gonna sit down and plan things out completely. They're not really there for the outcome. They're not like, oh, this is the outcome, this is the outcome I'm shooting for. It's like, yo, we just do this and see what happens, right? So you'll see that approach with them quite a bit.
No, I mean, just like a SP, you know, progression, movement, concretes, pragmatics. Kind of similar to me in a way. You know, it's going to be interesting seeing these two battle against each other and see who comes out on top.
So we got our stairs to heaven here. This is the road to demigod. Chris, you want to break down this, or you want me to go for it?
Yeah, if you haven't seen one of these videos, we judge them on a scale based on this. It's kind of like a tier of development. C being average, obviously B above average, A Prodigy, S Demigod, and below that we have the below average and unfortunately the whale shit. Now, to be whale shit, it means essentially you have developed nothing, like not even what the average person does. Average, it just means you develop normally. You put no intentional thought into your development and didn't develop any extra skills. Above average, you put a little bit more intentional thought into your development and you develop some things extra above the average, put you in B. And demigod would be like if you have all bases covered, all functions usable, and they're effortless to use. Okay, that's extremely rare. Mercer says there's only two people to ever achieve it: is Buddha and Jesus.
So we're gonna go over the awards, right? I'm gonna go and hit Nicki Minaj awards here. I'm hitting them pretty quick and pretty fast. There's a fucking lot of them, guys. Unfortunately, she's a very successful woman, one of the best in the industry. So her net worth is $150 million according to Yahoo Finance. That's quite a bit of money there. All right, so she's doing her job. She's doing great things. Best-selling female rapper. Most American Music Awards won by a female rapper. Most Billboard Hot 100 entries by a female rapper. First female rapper to have 7 singles on Billboard Hot 100 at the same time. Most streamed female rapper on Spotify. Inducted into the BET Hip Hop Awards Hall of Fame. Times Magazine 100 Most Influential People. Breaks record for most simultaneous U.S. hot hits by a female artist. Wins the Music TV Video Awards for the best hip hop video. Becomes the first female rapper to perform at the Grammy Awards, right? So she's doing a lot of first with this woman. Shout out to her because she put a lot behind her craft, right? As she says, she writes her own rap. She is not a plant.
Yeah, let me mention some intangibles about Nicki as well. She really takes pride in being known as a rapper's rapper. What I mean by that is she doesn't only have these mainstream accolades, she's also very well respected in the rap community as a whole. Like lyricists respect her. Her punchlines are really, on that level of, garnering respect, And Lil Wayne, she was a protege of Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is very much known for his punchlines, and she took that kind of scheme and made it her own as well. She was part of Young Money with Drake as well. We didn't mention that. So, very well respected, very well renowned. Nicki Minaj, best rapper, best female rapper ever. So now we got Cardi B. Net worth $80 million according to Yahoo Finance. She's the first female rapper to have a #1 single on the Billboard Hot 100. She's the most streamed female rapper on Apple Music. First female rapper to have 3 #1 singles on Billboard Hot 100 chart with Bodak Yellow, I Like It, Girls Like You. Most American Music Award won by a female rapper. 5 American Music Awards. First female rapper to have 2 #1 albums on the Billboard 200 chart. Most Grammy nominations for a female rapper. First female rapper to perform at the Super Bowl. Breaks records for most simultaneous U.S. Hot 100 hits by female artists. Wins the BET Award for the best female hip hop artist. Named one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people. So as you see, she also has a lot of achievements. I don't know if she has as many achievements as Nicki Minaj, but she's definitely competing with her for that #1 spot as the most popular female artist. But what I can say is that she doesn't have the respect of the lyricists, unfortunately. She doesn't have those intangibles of writing her own raps, working on her craft, her punchlines, etc. And that's why they had a lot of beef, because when Cardi B was coming up, Nicki Minaj was feeling threatened, and she came at her for not writing her lyrics. That's where the beef started, guys. So let's see who comes out on top in terms of development. As we know, in the rap category, I give it to Nicki, but this is not a rap video. This is a personality video, okay?
So guys, remember, this is the ESFP cognitive functions. We did do a comprehensive breakdown of all of these, right? So we're going to go through the 8 functions here. And me and Christian are going to be rating them, Nicki versus Cardi. Which one we think is better and why, okay? So we're talking about SC Hero here. That's experiencing life to the fullest and being incredibly present in the moment, right? These people they're the best at that, right? You'll see them just own the fucking moment. That's just what they do. Their minds are continuously scanning for reactions and relevant data. Getting in sync with the physical world and people is very easy for them. Enjoy the thrill of action and physical experiences in the moment. You see that with Cardi B. Like, she is ready to throw a fucking shoe at any given time. Quickly move to action, to get immediate results, right? will say or do anything to get a reaction out of people. Maybe may overindulge in senses, right? So if we had to rate all those and see who is actually better, right? We have to rate them on a level with SE Hero to where it's not self-sabotaging, right? And unfortunately, with that being said, I have to give it to Nicki Minaj. And the reason why is because Nicki's okay with kind of being in the moment, but she knows how to own the moment without putting herself in bad problems, like potentially going to jail or something, right?
Jeopardy, yeah.
Why you'll see Cardi B, throwing shoes and all this other shit, fighting people, like all of that. That's gonna land your ass in jail, right? So we gotta look at the one that's more surgical with their SE, right? Nicki can go on stage with people and talk, right?
Yeah.
She knows how to own the moment. Miley Cyrus, what's up, right? She owned that moment, but it's not in a predicament where it's really gonna hurt her.
Yeah. So I can say this, right? Because a lot of people may be wondering, okay, but Cardi B is a lot more apparent with her SE. Like you see it active a lot more. Why wouldn't she win in this category? It's what Mercer is saying. Is Nicki's more surgical with it. She's a little more hesitant in her use of it. It's not as explosive, which shows a degree of development, guys. Because when you're underdeveloped, you tend to rely on this hero function a lot, and it just comes across way more often and in a more apparent way. But Nicki just shows that she's developed her use of it for other reasons that we're going to go into later. And that is why you don't see it as explosive, as active all the time. She's not over relying on it. But that doesn't mean that she's not as developed or under Cardi B's use of it. She might actually be above her use of it. She's just more surgical with the use. Okay. So we give it to Nicki Minaj in this category. What would be the score, Mercer?
I gotta give when it comes to SC, I gotta at least give Nicki Minaj like 8-9, man. 8-9 in this category. Like I said earlier, she's more surgical with it, and she kind of lets the rest of her functions play out to give it a better usage. While you see Cardi B a little bit more animalistic, right? Like bitch, come here, bitch, come here. Like fuck that shit. Like ready to risk it all in the moment.
Also, keep in
Not
mind that Nicki Minaj is a very skilled freestyle rapper as well. So being in the moment, coming up with stuff to put the song together, that's her forte. She's been developing this from a very young age. She's been rapping since, teenage years. So, we got to give it to Nicki in this one. Okay.
We got to give it to Nicki. We'll go Nicki 8-9, right? And I would say Cardi's like 6-7 here, okay? But she really needs to hone in on like the refinement of her SC hero, right? There's ways to get interactions from people without dooming your future.
Yeah.
Fortunate.
All right. So FI parent, it's about inner harmony, authenticity, and being congruent with identity. Okay. Both of these individuals have FI parent active, but in different ways. So if you want to go into like situations where their FI parent was challenged and how they approached that situation.
Nicki Minaj is on a popular podcast, and we also have Cardi B defending her FI and TE versus some YouTuber, Tasha K, who went to make up a whole bunch of lies against her, right?
Shit right now. Let me tell you something about my boy Schemo. All right, so there's this blogger lady that fucking hates the shit out of me, and I'm gonna sue her ass because I'm tired of her making up fake stories, harassing all of my friends. Like this lady constantly stalk me. Everybody that she see that I'm close to or like comment back on the pictures, that she literally stalks them, and then she goes and claims that people are giving her information about me, says some disgusting things about me and my homeboy Schemo. Let me tell you something about Schemo. Schemo is the nigga that turned me hat when I was 16 years old, and I've been friends with the nigga for a long time. That nigga see me going in and out of relationship with niggas, and I see him going in and out of relationship with females. Up about me and my friends. You dumbass bitch, I'm gonna sue you for defamation of character. Cause it's like, you know what? I let the bitch play and talk shit about me. But when you talk shit about my daughter.
Yeah. She actually did win that court case, and it was for what, $5 million, Christian?
It was about, I think, $4.5 million that Tasha K had to declare bankruptcy because of this case. And it was just because this lady was telling lies about Cardi B. She wasn't saying it was allegedly. She was basically stating them as facts and saying that she was getting information that was false. And then Cardi B, FI, you triggered that authenticity. You don't say lies about me and shit like that. And she sued her for $4.5 million and won. Okay. Like Mercer
Shout out to
said,
her.
yeah, they don't play. They don't play. Okay. So you better watch out.
That's what you say. All right, now we're gonna watch a clip of Nicki Minaj and Joe Biden here.
Really about you.
That's what
And
I'm
that's the whole thing.
asking you.
It,
Like,
no. It was really about you because this is what everybody on live needs to understand. It wasn't about the song. It was that you did it with that song, and then you did it with this song, Hot Girl Summer, which is, even though you didn't say it like in a mean way, even with Hot Girl Summer, you said for Nicki to go on live with Shorty, I believe that the song is already coming. I think Nicki's a little bit more calculated than that. And I think that that's kind of like bullshit. I don't think that the song isn't done or it's not already being in the works when Nicki went on live. And I said, hello, Joe, no, it's the actual truth. Nothing was in the works.
Mhm.
I wasn't asked to be on the song
That's
before
why you
that
said that.
live.
That's true.
So I just want to let you know, this is the second time I did a record where a female was on the record, where you put something out in the world.
She hits him with Effie Critic there.
Yes.
A female, right? A female.
Basically, she's using
That
that
is basically
social power.
saying Nicki's lying. So it's not about the song. It's not about the person. It's just about, I think, for whatever reason.
You think I throw? All right, I got it.
Let me give a little bit of context. What she's saying is Joe Budden always assumes, she speculates about intentions with rappers. I watch his podcast a lot, so I could give a little context. And sometimes he be dead ass wrong, it's his opinion, but it's triggering her FI because basically by Joe insinuating that what she's saying is false and that she's actually intending something else, he's basically calling her a liar. You know what I mean? So it's triggering her FI, her congruent identity as being a truth teller, and now she's on his ass. And not only is she on his ass, she's using the social power of her being a female and having female fans and having female cohorts to attack him, because basically in the black community, you cannot attack black women. Okay. You're going to get destroyed socially. Okay. So that is what she's doing here. I'm just giving that context so everybody knows.
That's FI parent there. So inner harmony, right? These guys they really care about being conducive to themselves because it creates inner harmony inside. They have a good sense of inner control, independently managing and regulating their emotions, right? A lot of people think that, ESFPs is out here just really sharing the inner world with everybody. They share what they want people to know, but you have to actually be close with them to actually get into the actual, actually who they are. They get a gut feeling about something's good or bad, right? And they recognize what motivates them and how they feel inside. And easily detect when somebody's being phony, right? Or inauthentic. They have a strong belief system, right? It's kind of like the opposite of TI, right? TI builds their own inner framework. FI is building its own inner framework for what's congruent for them and good and bad, right? So if we had to rate these two, I have to go with Nicki on this one because she has a better control of her emotions, right? While Cardi, she is authentic to herself, and that is 100% correct. She did start from being like a stripper to being a celebrity, and that's very hard for a lot of people. But when it comes to controlling her emotions, Nicki's a lot better, right? And regulating her emotions, right? She may go on these podcasts, but like I said, it doesn't damage her, right? It doesn't damage her. She still keeps her queen bee status.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say about that, Christian?
Yeah, I would say Cardi B is more authentic. You're right about that. In fact, that is part of the reason why people love her so much, is because even though she has become famous, she hasn't really changed her identity as this person, the person she is. So pair that with the explosive SE, and it's very entertaining, as we could see, right? But the inner harmonies where she's lacking, her emotions all over the place, she can't really control them when they come bubbling up. So which leads her to act in explosive ways. But as far as authenticity, she's 10 out of 10 in authenticity. So we can't say that she doesn't have FI parent. She has it. It's just not as refined again. Okay, we're at the same page with the SE hero argument. She's not refining these things. They're just kind of working on autopilot in a way.
So if we had to rate them against each other, I'm gonna have to go with Nicki Minaj being a 9, maybe 9, 10-ish area with the inner control, right? She knows how to go about it to where she's not really explosive and putting it in ways where she can get her FI across, right? While Cardi, on the other hand, I would say it's probably like a 6 or 7, 7.
Yeah. And also
Um,
keep in mind that as you get more tools, you could work through different things, right? What I mean by that is, Cardi's relying on explosive, violent action or aggression. Whereas as you see, Nicki Minaj is working with social dynamics, okay, which we will go into later as we go down these functions, but she's working with more complex tools, essentially.
Mhm.
She knows the narratives. She knows the social dynamics of her community. She knows how to mobilize these things to attack certain individuals that she feels need to be attacked that trigger her FI parent or her child, etc. Okay, so she's mobilizing more complex tools, and we will go into that following this. So
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, we give that to Nicki Minaj again, so that's 2-0 right here, guys.
mhm,
Unfortunately,
mhm.
um, now we get into TE Child, right? So that's trusting empirical data, right? A lot of times, conforming their thinking to what is a measurable fact, right? Um, Data, statistics, things of that nature. Also reorganizing the environment, right? Being able to like marshal resources, being able for like understanding time frameworks behind a lot of things, monitoring people. But the problem, this is a child function, right? So it can create a lot of problem for them if they over rely on it. It can get burned out, right? Because it is a child, um, and it can also strip them of their authenticity, right? So that's why ESFPs got to be very careful of this. And unfortunately, ESFPs are at their best when they are using their SE and FI. The problem with TE Child is it doesn't really concern itself with getting the right information, right? Sometimes it could take down information and it could be absolutely wrong, right? Or they might be somebody who watches a 10-second clip and form opinions about it, um, and that could lead them to make blunders out here. With this one here, I would have to say that again, Nicki Minaj is better, as we've seen. Nicki Minaj is more surgical with her placement, while Cardi B is a little bit more raw and untapped. Right, I think she'll get better as she gets older because now she's in the spotlight. She's learning what she can and can't do. While Nicki's kind of been in the game a lot longer, and she's kind of had to she had to earn her stripes she had to earn her stripes, and with earning your stripes, it puts you at a great advantage when it comes to development, right? Nikki still does fall prey to a lot of child things where she, takes little clips here and runs with it or whatnot, and then she explodes on people.
Mhm. Now,
But she is
I do want to mention this. Nikki is not so great at this either. She consumes media criticism in a way where it's like you say one thing and she just reacts and blows up on you. The thing is, like, the way that she blows up on you is a lot more passive aggressive, right? It's not like I mentioned the FI parent SE hero thing. Like, she's not overly aggressive towards you, but she will do things in the background using her social power to fuck with you, right? Based on like TE child things. Like, she'll say like one little clip that you said, and all of a sudden you're her enemy, and now she's messing with you in the background and nobody knows, and you start complaining, you're like, and then she mobilizes her audience against you. So she does these things as well. We're not saying she's great at this. Just to
mhm,
be clear.
good example of like how bad Cardi B is she bought um 2 cars, right? She was a Lamborghini and whatnot, and she doesn't even know how to drive. Like, what the fuck you doing? You just buying it just because it's popular and it looks good? That makes no sense whatsoever. So, I mean, going here, I gotta put Cardi at. I mean, she did sue the person and win. I gotta put her like a 2. Cardi B at a 2 when it comes to Chi Child, and I would give Nicki Minaj like a 4 or a 5. What do you think, Christian?
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. I put you could put Cardi maybe like a 3, and then give Nicki a 5. You know,
Yeah.
but Nicki, you know, the way she navigates the industry is very good, and she uses out like the social hierarchy of the rap community, etc. very well. But she still falls prey to just consuming like little snippets and just falling prey to like dumb narratives that are not true, etc. So she's not great at this, guys. Okay, she's not, but she still takes the edge over Cardi B. Is what we're saying.
Yeah. So now we'll get into Ni Inferior. Chris, what you got to say about that?
All right, so Ni Inferior, this future projection, transforming yourself, visualizing the future, etc. Obviously, Cardi B or Nicki Minaj, both of them not great at this. Now, Cardi B, she has maintained her congruency. She's kind of the same. Like she's transformed a little bit, but not a lot. I don't think she had a lot of vision for her career. If anything, she's kind of planty. I'm just gonna be honest. Like she has a team that saw her personality, saw her acting in the moment, and put her in place to be successful. She didn't plan these things, actually. Okay, so Ni Inferior is very apparent. She's just living in the moment, day to day. Nicki Minaj, little different. Nicki Minaj, she kind of envisioned herself as being like this famous rapper, wanted to be in the rap community, and she achieved these things. Like she focused on these things. So I give her the edge on these things, but again, not great. She kind of developed in a time where punchline rapping was the thing, and that's her style, but she didn't keep up with the times. I'm just gonna be honest. And her music still pops. She's still popular, but it came to a point where she took a break from music, came back, wasn't relevant in the moment, and she struggled to get back to her spot because basically she's not living in the future. She was kind of living in the present / past because she had been away from music for a while. So it caused her to struggle, as opposed to, for example, Drake or whatever. He's always staying relevant. He's always with the new stuff. She struggled in this department. So Ni Inferior, apparent for both, but I give the edge to Nicki because she actually envisioned and planned her future out and achieved it. Okay.
So here, like Ni Inferior, I'm gonna say Nicki's more apparent, right? Because you can see that she has a strategic approach to a lot of stuff she does, and you'll see it play out in the way that she does it with strategic planning. That's going to be more of the Ni. So I do have to say that it's there, and it's quite apparent. I would say because you notice the difference, like why Nicki move it, like why she moves the way she does, like it's there, but it's not like an INTJ or an ENTJ. When it comes to that perspective, because we're comparing TE and NI. So I would say maybe she's a 5. What do you think, Christian? 5?
Yeah, she could get a 5. She could get a 5. We could put that at the same level. It's not strong, but it's functional. So a 5 would be good. So 5 for NI and 5 for TE.
And I do think that overall that she is in control of her destiny. Um, because she's actually worked on her skills, right? She's actually good at what she does. While Cardi B is kind of like a plant, unfortunately, it is what it is. She doesn't write her raps and stuff of that nature. So that just goes to the planning, right? Nicki writes a rap because she planned this out a little bit more. While Cardi B, I gotta say, is a 1.
Yeah.
1 or 2.
Also plays into that TE child as well. Like the way she writes her schemes, she structures them in a certain way. Okay, that TE and I both functional. So obviously she's winning again, guys. Okay, we're seeing like it's kind of she's killing her at this point.
It's a sweep.
Yeah.
It's a sweep, but you gotta understand that these people came from two different types of sceneries, right? And she was a stripper, and pretty much people looked at a Nicki Minaj type of thing and was like, "Hey, we could do this with Cardi B," and it did work, right? That's the perks of having a good team around you, right? They can pick up your weaknesses,
Mhm.
right? So now we're gonna get into SI polls, and Chris, you want to go for it?
All right, so SI opposing. As we talked, I got to talk about the hero because the hero and the opposing kind of work together. As we talked about the SE hero in the beginning, we see that Nicki's a lot more surgical with her approach, and the reason for that is her use of SI opposing. Okay, this is recalling experiences, stabilizing a situation compared to the past or known, creating homeostasis. Now, as we see Cardi B, very explosive with her SE. You can't really say that she's stabilizing the situation. If anything, she's escalating it, okay? As opposed to Nicki, she can attack you, but in a way where it's like now you're getting attacked socially or whatever, and she gets off kind of scot-free. Is way more surgical, and this SI opposing is the reason, okay? She has a track record of the past, of what's worked in the past. She has skills that she acquired through her music career, and she employs them very well. So SI opposing is there for her. So we give the edge to her again.
So I would say when it comes to this, you will notice that Cardi B's SE is more raw, right? More raw and in the moment. That's why she's throwing shit and she's acting the way she is. And she's not young, right? So I mean, she's not learning from her opposing, right? What got you in trouble last time? To keep you the fuck out of trouble, to make sure you make better decisions with SE. She's not doing that. The opposing is there to kind of rein your hero in so that it can make better informed decisions, right? Even though it slow you and make you a little paranoid, but overall, if you do it right, it's gonna make you make better decisions. So
Now,
here,
I do want to add one more thing. What I mentioned about Nicki struggling with keeping up with the times. If you notice, her hero is SE in the present, her opposing is SI in the past. So it's kind of hard for her to evolve musically because her inferior is NI. But it all leads to her music getting kind of dated. So for her to like stay in her music career and keep progressing, she kind of needs to be very active. If I was gonna say something to Nicki personally, she probably don't give a fuck. But I'm just saying, for her, it would be beneficial to stay active and work with new artists constantly. The problem is she doesn't like to collab a lot. She's kind of hard to collab with because she places herself above everyone. You know what I mean? As opposed to Drake. Yeah, to each child. Drake, he gets the spotlight to a new artist, kind of to extract from him, but at least he does that. Nicki has difficulty doing that, and that's why she kind of stays in the past that deals with that SI opposing, in that way. So
yeah, what we rating these out of 10? Like,
yeah,
she's not really-
Cardi's not there with the SI opposing, so 2. But like with Nicki's functional, I give her like a 6 SI opposing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's just able to make more technical, better decisions, right? So unfortunately.
And she
So
learns
FE
from her
Critic,
mistakes.
FE Critic, guys. This is where we think Nicki Minaj is landsliding people. This is where she lights up the board, right? This is where it's that one function of hers. It's like
Yeah. This is her
just
superpower.
sticking out.
Yeah.
Right. Her critic is ready to go. We call the critic Vegeta, right? Like the critic can help hurt you, but it can also help you. You know what I'm saying? Kakarot, I'm out of here, right? Out of nowhere. But the critic does have a tremendous amount of power, like Vegeta. And you see her weaponize this, right? She uses a lot of time people will weaponize the critic to get you to buy into the parent. So she's gonna slap you with social stuff, right? So then that you have to say, oh, you got to back down to her FI.
You gotta back down.
Step up.
She gives you no room to breathe because she's employing like their narrative against you. This is why when we saw her talking to Joe Budden, she mentioned, "Oh, when I'm collabing with a woman, that's when you always gotta come in." Right? The reality is,
stop you.
The reality is, Joe Budden wasn't mentioning anything about another woman. He was mentioning the fact that she probably had another intention for the song. But by employing that woman aspect, now you're adding a whole another dynamic problem that he has to solve. He has to back down. He basically has to bend the knee. Bend the knee, or you're gonna get attacked by the women in the community, essentially. And she does this so well. It's very easy for her to do this. She's basically a master at it. So you gotta be careful with this because this can ruin your career. If you don't navigate the FE critic attack well, it could ruin your career in the modern age. So
yeah, I did see, you also did see in the clip there with Cardi B mobilized hers as well when she was getting to that girl. You already don't like me. You don't like people like me.
right,
Basically saying you don't like strippers, right? And now you're fucked.
You don't
Now
like
you're fucked.
you
You're
don't-
under attack, right?
You don't like
So,
people that
every
come from the hood or people who are like, don't have a lot of resources. Basically, she's employing this social dynamic into the attack.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So every critic may expect others to adhere to certain social conventions, right? That's the social conventions,
Hmm.
leading judgment if those are not met. All right, maybe insisting that others conform to group norms or maintain social harmony. Critique others' emotional expressions as inappropriate or disruptive to the group. Can push their FI as if it was the social norm.
Hmm.
Right, that's the problem here. Wham!
Yep. Yep. And this is very dangerous in certain communities because, like, you basically have to conform to the group or you can't make money. That's what FE attack in the modern age, super dangerous. You need to navigate very carefully. Okay. This can cost celebrities or artists millions of dollars, or you might even lose your whole career and never come back. As we saw with the baby when he mentioned something about LGBT. We don't see the baby no more, So you need to be very careful when an ESFP is FE attacking you in the modern age. Because it just bend the knee. You lost, okay? Just bend the knee.
You're on a heavy attack. I've talked about it before. I remember when I gave my ESFP friend number out. When she saw my ass again in front of everybody, she was like, "Mercer, you ain't supposed to be giving out people numbers." I'm like, "Fuck, I'm on the attack. Gotta get out of here." I'm like, every critic on my ass. It's not socially appropriate, motherfucker. This is where I think Nicki Minaj really lights up the board here, right? I got to give her a 10 out of 10 on this display, right? She knows how to weaponize that critic to fuck people up, right? Well, Cardi B here, I would say she's pretty decent as well, right? She's pretty decent, but she ain't 10 out of 10.
No.
I'd say she's more like a 7.
Yeah,
You
I
can
give
use
him 6, 7, but yeah, along those lines.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to Ti Trickster. Now I believe both are weak at Ti Trickster. I'm gonna be honest. This is the reason why Nicki Minaj will take a clip from wherever and assume negative thoughts about it because she doesn't really discern the information properly. She doesn't take the time. Remember, the introverted functions slow you down in a way. They're kind of slower to act. So if she had Ti Trickster more developed, if her Ti was more functional, then she would be slower to react to this information. But she's not showing that. She's also always reactive, always attacking through underhanded ways, through the industry, etc., blocking stuff for your career if you say something out of turn. And this just shows that her TI is not really that active. So I can't give her points on that really. Now, where she kind of probably takes the edge or ties with Cardi, because Cardi also is very reactive. The thing is, like, we don't see her really reacting to as much of stuff because maybe her TE child isn't as active. But I don't know who to give the edge to. Versus, what do you think?
If I had to say here, because it's also with the ability to remain logically consistent. Like you said here, people don't realize, but for an extrovert, it's a lot harder to develop, and the reasons why is because the world you can interact with the world and do pretty damn well with just your extroverted functions. While an introvert, they do actually have to develop their extroverted functions to actually function in the world. So they may start slow, but then later on they'll pick up, right? While an extrovert can literally just get stuck into their shit because it's just working, right? A lot of people don't swim against the current, right? Many people don't, but over here at Mongolian Mindset, we tell you motherfuckers swim against the current. But Ti Trickster here, I would say that these motherfuckers are very good at bending what you say against you, right? Taking your shit out of context and bending that motherfucker on your ass. That's the one thing that you have to deal with ESFPs is they will bend the truth on your ass. Like, damn, like, bro, I didn't say that, right? Or that nature. Very good at bending the truth, right? So I would say her actual knowledge of being able to be logically consistent is low, but her ability to probably bend the truth on your ass is actually pretty decent.
What is the reason? What is the reason?
Yeah.
Like I saw these.
pretty good at bending the truth
Yeah,
on
yeah.
your ass.
Yeah, she was trying to get tools. I feel like in that moment, Cardi B was like, give me a reason so that I could use what you say against you."
And being yeah.
Yeah, so that's a
That-
Ti
so they'll
Trickster
commit
moment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's getting ready with Effie Critic and T.I. Trickster to, get your ass. But a lot of times they'll commit they'll be people look at it, but they don't realize that they will actually use logical fallacies on you in the moment. And it's if a lot of people aren't that smart to discern what's actually happening there.
Mhm.
And with a trickster, you gotta kind of take it off slowly, right?
Slow it
Because
down. Yep.
slow it down
Yeah.
because it's one of those things where you have to actually think, right? Because it's when I think about the trickster, it's like that motherfucker got you like it's a knight and it's moving. It either gets your queen or a rook. You're fucked, right? Queen or rook, they taking something, right? If you fuck around, so you have to be very careful with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here,
Hey,
I would.
I'll say this because I'm Ti Hero, and I think this is probably the only MBTI channel where we've said that the thought functions can be overrated. Like the Ti, like I told you guys, Ti can be overrated, and Ti Trickster can be underrated because this is a very functional attack. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Even though it's not logically sound, it doesn't matter because it achieves the result. Okay, it doesn't
Yeah.
need to be logically sound because socially is very powerful. People are gonna fall for it left and right. It can affect
Mhm.
your status within the group. So I could hit you with a Ti
Mhm.
Trickster attack, and it don't make a lick of sense. But everyone around you gonna be like, "Oh shit, he got you." You're fucked. You know what I mean?
You're fucked.
So Ti Trickster is actually underrated. So people shouldn't really hate on it so much because it's actually a very powerful tool.
Yeah.
Okay?
I mean, you got like most of the people that talk about shit, they're usually fucking nerds and geeks. And if they were hit with T.I. Trickster in front of everybody, they wouldn't fucking know what to do. Right? If you ain't got the SE and the TI and shit like that, you might really be in fucking trouble.
Yeah.
Right?
Facts.
You really might be in trouble. Like you fucking INTJs and shit out there thinking, this person so they'll probably whip your ass with that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you ain't gonna know what to do in the moment. Quick, fast is on you. You're like,
Mm-hmm. And they jump to the next. It's like they hit you with it and jump to the next thing. So now,
yeah.
because remember, if you want to kind of like remove these things, like Marcia said, it takes time because you need to like kind of break down the logic and then attack it. But they'll hit you with it real quick and then move on with SE.
Mm-hmm.
Now you fucked because you just got killed. You can't respond to that because you're already the next thing. So it's actually very powerful. So people need to stop hating on Ti Trickster and saying that, oh, it's dumb, blah, blah, blah. It's a very powerful social tool, okay?
Well, them tricksters can be really something, boy. Them tricksters can really be something when they get weaponized. But like we have to say here, based on like their ability to discern logic is very low, but their ability to manipulate the truth is actually pretty damn well. So if I had to say what is their ability to discern logic and be consistent, I would say maybe Cardi B is a 1, right? And I would say Nicki Minaj maybe a 2 or 3, right? But when been able to bend shit against people, I would say they're much higher.
Yeah.
I would say they're both around like 4s and 5s.
Yeah.
when it
So
comes to that.
their ability to weaponize it is good. Their ability to discern logic is bad.
Bad. Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
And that's what people have to understand about the trickster. It can be deployed as well. Because the trickster defends the ego. These shadow functions defend the ego. Right? They're little tricks and traps to defend the ego. Some people use them, some people don't. That's what people don't understand about these shadow functions. It's not that all the time that you're gonna get them. Right. All right. So then we're down to NE demon. So this is like usually one of the most annoying things about these guys is like they try to use their intuition to discern like what's going on, and they make a lot of blunders when it comes to like reading information, and they will attribute that to ill means, right?
Yeah.
So you'll do something and like it's not even what the fuck you did, but then they'll try to use their NI or whatnot, and it's not that great, and they will fucking what people would term any demon.
And that's what
Jump
makes
to a conclusion.
this is what makes Nicki so freaking annoying in the industry. I'll just say because I'm not in the industry, I don't give a shit. Like basically, she'll take something you said. It could be like a normal critique. It might not even be so bad. But her any demon will jump to conclusions that you're saying that she's bad as an artist and all this other stuff. Like she'll create these patterns and connections that weren't even there. And then now she's attacking you in the industry. Now you try to work with this artist and he can't work with you because Nikki said you can't. And now you're like, what the? I didn't even say nothing so bad, you know, but Nikki just jumped to conclusions and now she's attacking you fully in the background. It really, is annoying. But hey, any demon, you know?
As any demon, like sometimes you gotta sit down and actually talk to these people because they try to fill in their gaps, but their intuition is just not there. For instance, I have an ESTP coworker. She thought um it was like Christmas season and she has grandkids or whatnot, and she wanted to put her grandkids on this list, and she told this other girl about it, right? And then like they messaged her and told her that she couldn't put grandkids on there, and she thought the girl went and told and came up with this whole story, and then it came out that the girl didn't tell at all. So she was ready to like fucking kill this girl. I'm not dealing with that bitch. I should beat that bitch at. I'm like, whoa, you know. And
Right.
then, and I'm telling her like, hey, you should probably get more information. I don't think like you can make that assessment, right? I don't
That
think
assumption.
I'm stronger with intuition. I'm like, I don't think you have it there to make that exception. Like, I think that's wrong. So
Yeah.
they will apply it negative, like in a bad way, right? Instead of
Hmm.
using it constructively and well, because you got to understand a lot of times with intuition functions, they take a little bit more time, not like automatic a lot of times. And these people are known for being tactile and being in the moment and moving.
Now,
Um,
Cardi
so
B does the same thing. The thing is, Cardi B will put hands on you. As opposed to Nicki will ruin your career. Cardi B will actually punch you in the face. So
yeah.
they're both bad at this. It's just their reaction to it is different based on
Mhm.
like their tools. Like I said, Cardi B doesn't have all the complex tools that Nicki does. Nicki employs different tactics.
Mhm.
Whereas Cardi B's tactics are let me take my shoe off and throw it at your face. You know what I mean? So
Juvenile, very, very juvenile.
yeah, yeah. So, they're both bad at this. So,
Mhm.
what would you say? I put them a 1 or a 2 for both. You know,
Yeah, I'd probably say one or just, uh, they're pretty bad, man. Um, one or two, that's fine with me. Both of them are pretty bad.
yeah,
You see that? That's the reason why Nicki Minaj is in so many beefs, so many fucking beefs. Also, with her T child wanted to be more important than everybody, but whatever.
yep.
All right, guys. So we're done with that. The
All right.
cognitive
So,
function
as far
break.
as cognitive functions goes, obviously we give it to Nikki.
Clean
Now
sweep.
clean sweep. Just to summarize, both are strong at SE hero. But Nikki is more surgical with her approach because she has a stronger FI parent. She has the SI opposing functional. Her NI
Mhm,
inferior was stronger than Cardi's as well. So she's basically just stronger at everything. She's still
mhm.
weak in the logical department and in the identifying patterns department, but she is more developed than Cardi. So we will see the intelligences and then we'll give our ratings for both. Go ahead.
Okay. So, guys, there's intelligence or composites. NT use strategic intelligence, so they're more strategic about their planning. They really sit down and map things out, right? Um, anticipation is one of the strongest things they're going to use, right? Um, Systems and all that. So, with these two, I have to say that Nikki seems to be a little. I mean, she's an SP, but she does pretty damn well. She's a little bit, more strategic about her approach to things, right? She knows how she's gonna navigate, the terrain, even though sometimes it's impulsive or triggered by FI. She does navigate it in a strategic approach to things. That's why people say that Nicki Minaj is a little faker, right? Because she's, it's apparent that Nicki Minaj is gonna try to strategically fuck you over in a way or another, right? While
Mhm.
Cardi B here, I think is a 0. Sorry, Cardi. I think she's living in the moment way too much.
Yeah,
While Nicki is clearly better here. Um,
yeah. And as far
and you
as
see it, you see it show as her being an ESFP. Um, she does pretty damn well. She doesn't do enough to fuck herself up, which you will see a lot with ESFPs. They'll get to a position and they'll blow themselves up with something stupid. Um, so.
Yeah, and as far as her navigating the social realm, like we said, that's her superpower. So she 10 out of 10 in that department, the FE department. So how would that play into the intelligences? Would that be diplomatic?
That'd be more diplomatic, intelligence, and tactical, right? Because she's using tactics. She's deploying tactics, which Nikki is actually fucking pretty fucking good at. Like she knows how to come on someone's show and deploy her tactics, using her effie critic, to make you bend the fucking knee, and then she might bend the truth a little bit here and there. But it's happening so fast, it's hard to respond to it. So tactical intelligence, I would say that she's also better than Cardi B, right? Cardi B, tactical intelligence is just to throw hands
Yeah, yeah.
and act, but that's the kind of world she went through because she went from, being a stripper to being a person who's a celebrity, and celebrities have a different lifestyle, right? You can't do that type of stuff. You're always under the gun. And I'm pretty sure you can probably find more clips where she's really struggling with that. Um,
Yeah, and
you
keep
know,
in mind that
the loss of freedom.
Nikki started rapping at an early age, so she became a celebrity, I think, in her early 20s. So at this point, most of her life has been in the industry. So, people get their start certain places, but you got to remember, life moves on, and you acquire tactics within the environment you're in. Change your environment, change your life. And Nikki definitely changed her environment by going from being just a normal girl in New York to being a celebrity for most of her life. So now she's acquired these things over her lifetime. While Cardi, she got famous a little later, and
Yeah.
she lived a lot of her life in that world, the strip world, stuff like that. And you acquire certain tactics within that world. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, here again, we're giving Nicki Minaj the clean sweep when it comes to strategic intelligence, logistical intelligence. She does pretty well with her logistics, with her merchandise. Um, she makes sure all of that stuff goes perfect, right? And she's more in control of it. Like she isn't taking more of a plant role. Like Nikki's always kind of had her thumb on top of her logistics and stuff,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
And she navigates that to a point to where other people were copying what she did, right?
mhm.
Through the manipulation. Um, in the tactical intelligence as well, right? She deploys tactics in a way that actually works, right? While Cardi B deploys them in a way that can actually sabotage her career and her future. And when it comes to diplomatic intelligence, Nicki Minaj can go on your podcast and navigate that pretty well, right? And get a point across. So we got to give it to her as well. One thing we will say about Cardi B is that she's very authentic to herself, and people love that when you can be authentic. And that's something that I had to come to grips with, because I was very hard on ESFPs, but I've learned like, damn, like they're very authentic. That's like something you could learn from them,
Yeah,
and they teach you how to really be in the moment and have fun. So, um,
yeah, that's
like you
her.
ain't gonna have the fun like when you have it with the ESFP.
And that's the thing. A lot of people got to understand. Sometimes it's not about what's better or worse. It's about what works in a way because okay, Cardi B is more underdeveloped than Nicki based on this, but you could say that Cardi B might be more liked overall because her personality is so authentic and she's more reactive, so it makes her more exciting, more entertaining. So even though she's
Mhm.
underdeveloped, let's say, compared to Nicki, she has her strengths that put her in a different category, socially, like in the social narrative, of who is
Mhm.
more liked, who's more popular, etc. Like they like them for different reasons.
Mhm.
So
Uh,
at the end of the day, it works, is what I'm saying, for
Yeah.
her.
So we got a clean sweep here as well. We got a clean sweep on the cognitive functions. And I would also say that like being an ESFP woman, it really helps Cardi B because if she was a man, she'd be locked the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right? She'd be locked the fuck up. You keep your hands off people.
Yeah. Also,
Um
you
yeah.
just to mention, when you are a SP man, you kind of learn to not put your hands on people because when men fight, there's potential for grave injury. When women fight, you kind of get off scot free sometimes, a lot of the times, not enough
Yeah.
power to really hurt the other person. When men fight, you end up in the hospital missing teeth, etc. And you learn real quick just to kind of keep your
And
hands to yourself. You know what I mean?
also the legal system, bro. The legal system don't bullshit. Like they let a lot of time with women they just let it go. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um But if a man start doing shit that she's doing, bro, wouldn't halfway be there. Like I said, ESFP known to blow themselves up, but already blown themselves up.
Yeah.
So we got demigod rankings here. We got Cardi B taking an L here. We think that Cardi B is a below average ESFP, right? While Nicki Minaj is an above average, right? She's diving into her shadow functions. Her shadow functions are on lines. While Cardi B is kind of just reacting out here, you know. She's not even an average ESFP. Um, yeah.
Yeah. So, Nicki Minaj, Queen B takes the win in in this fight. But Cardi B, we love Cardi B as well. Don't take it the wrong way. Cardi B has some good music, etc. And she's very entertaining. So but Nicki's just, on another level as
Yeah.
in terms of her development and her raps. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, she played the long road, right? Nikki played the long road and it shows she's more strategic about how she's doing it. She actually developed her skill to rap, like she says. And she holds herself to a standard. She wants to be recognized by men as a rapper, right? That's a hard standard to live up to.
mhm.
And she does write her own stuff. She goes about her way. She has her strategic control about stuff. She's more into that. And it shows, right? The one thing I don't like about Nicki Minaj is she starts a lot of stupid ass beats, but then she kind of uses that to stay relevant, unfortunately. But like I said, you starting beef with Cardi B. Cardi B don't give a fuck. Like you talk shit about her, she believes in talk shit, get hit.
Mhm. So yeah, so
Um,
this has been a great versus battle, and we're coming with more. So if you got any other celebrities you want to see go head to head, just make sure they're the same gender, the same type, and we will
mhm.
get that done for you guys. Okay, this has been a great video. Shout out to Nikki, shout out to Cardi, and shout out to us for bringing this fire content to you guys. And we'll catch you
Because
on
you
the
can't get
next
that shit nowhere else in the
nowhere
MBTI space.
else. And remember,
Right?
Ti
We're
Trickster.
pioneers on this shit.
Ti Trickster is underrated, okay? I said it here first. Ain't nobody saying that shit, but I'm saying it here. Ti Trickster socially is underrated. It kills people. Just remember that. And we'll catch you on the next video. Peace out.
Peace out.